Hello everybody and welcome back to Typical City. It's the UEFA Super Cup, the super duper UEFA Cup, and I am genuinely excited about this game. It's the second curtain raiser of the season, as if we needed any more curtains to raise. Apparently there's another curtain that needs raising, and it's the European curtain. There's enough curtains for me in one season, but how much does this game matter? Do you care about this game? Because I've seen plenty of comments namely on that cesspool of a platform that's known as Twitter or X, whatever it's called now, and it's a joke. City fans, give your heads a wobble. Those in particular that are saying this game doesn't matter, it's an irrelevant game. People want to talk about being it's just another Mickey Mouse Cup. It's not a Mickey Mouse Cup. This isn't a Mickey Mouse Cup. This is a trophy that means something. I've always taken every single trophy seriously, even if it's irrelevant to the bigger clubs, the likes of United who used to laugh at the Community Shield. You know, who do we think we are now? You've forgotten your roots, Blues. You've forgotten where we've come from, the depths that we dove to in League One, facing the likes of Macclesfield Town, Grimsby Town, York, and losing to York as well. 2-1 away to York we lost. You can't forget that. I'm hoping this is the new generation of City fans, the younger lads that are now entitled and think all the games that should mean anything of the Champions League knockout stages and Premier League top 6 games. All the other games, irrelevant. They mean nothing. Imagine being a Fulham fan or a West Ham fan. I've just picked those two as random clubs in the middle of the Premier League. You know, two mid-table clashes playing each other. They'll be excited about the game. To you guys who think this game means nothing, the Super Cup means nothing, I presume it's just a boring old 3 Premier League points. Who cares? Who cares about Premier League 3 points in the middle of the season? Who cares? If you gave Fulham or West Ham fans a UEFA Super Cup, they would snap your hands off at the shoulder bone. They would snap it that aggressively. You know, these guys, they want it. They want it, and we should want it. Just because we've gone and won a Champions League and we've won a Premier League and an FA Cup, fantastic, don't get me wrong. I'm not poo-pooing that. I'm saying that's incredible. And I'm not even trying to compare the UEFA Super Cup to the Champions League. Obviously, the Champions League is a much bigger accolade and achievement than the UEFA Super Cup. But it matters. It absolutely matters. And we should take this to heart. We should absorb these moments like these, because there may come a phase in football, because the game is about eras. And we might be in the Man City era right now, but it may not last forever. So remember that, remember where we've come from, because I imagine the day comes when we don't get in the UEFA Super Cup, or we may even become, a top 6 team. We might fall off one day. It's not going to happen anytime soon, I'll grant you that, but it might be a day where we end up being a mid-table team. Who knows? We could become an 8th, 9th team. Who knows? What if we got relegated? I'll say bye-bye to you if we get relegated, because there's no way you're going to give a shit if the UEFA Super Cup means nothing to you now. Imagine if we don't win anything for a season. What are you going to do? You're going to take your shirt off and start supporting the team that does win, because that's the type of fan you are. I can't stand it. Now, I'm not picking on every City fan. I know the majority of City fans out there are excited about this game. Like myself, if you are, join me for the watch on, because I am genuinely excited for this game. It's a game that's worth taking seriously, just as I took the Community Shield seriously. Pep Guardiola took it seriously. You saw him celebrating Cole Palmer's goal just as seriously as Mikel Arteta did. It matters. It absolutely matters. So I'm infuriated by the idea that this game doesn't matter. It's a joke, Blues. We're better than that, Blues. Come on. We're better than that. Right, come on. Team news. Anyway, my predicted starting 11 is as follows. Let's start with City. I've gone with Ortega in goal, who has been linked with a Bayern Munich move, which bothers me a little bit. I'm not that worried about it, namely because this is information that's come from Florian Plettenberg. Now, for those of you who don't know, Florian Plettenberg is a Sky Sports German reporter. And this is the reporter who claimed all summer that Kyle Walker is leaving Manchester City and joining Bayern Munich, just as he's saying Ortega's joining Bayern Munich right now. And as a result of that, he won't be playing in the Atletico Madrid game. He won't be playing in the Bayern Munich friendly. He won't be playing in the Yokohama friendly. All the preseason games Kyle Walker was never going to play. He played every game and he played as captain, and now he's staying at City. So take this news with a pinch of salt that Ortega's on his way to Bayern Munich, because it's coming from that same individual whose sources and reputation are questionable at best, because so far his track record has been bollocks. So we'll see if Ortega's going to be in a City shirt at the end of the season. Personally, I think he's going from understudy to Edison to understudy at Bayern Munich as well. So I don't think it's a sideways move for him. It's certainly not going to improve his chances. I think Pep has a good relationship with Ortega. Playing him in the games like this and in other cup games, I think he'll be given the FA Cup. He'll probably be given the League Cup. He's going to be given this game. I wouldn't be surprised if he's given the Club World Cup. So Ortega's to stay, as far as I'm concerned, and he's in this team for tomorrow night's game. Another player that's worth talking about, Rico Lewis. I've put him at right back, and deservedly getting a 5-year extension to his contract, keeping him until 2028. Now, this is a player that's... I don't think we've seen the ceiling yet. It's not in sight. The ceiling for Rico Lewis is not visible yet. We have levels to go through for Rico Lewis, and I don't think we've seen the cap to his game yet. And I think he's a very good player right now, a very, very good player. I think he could reach world class if he plays his card right, keeps his head down, listens to Pep, and just bides his time and keeps improving and showing that versatility in all these positions that he's got. He could go on to be a genuine superstar if he plays his cards right. And there's no mistaking it, because the City don't hand out 5-year contracts to nobodies, do they? You know, this is the top tier now. Champions League, Premier League winners, and we're handing out a 5-year contract to a 18-year-old Bury-born potential superstar, and deservedly so. So he's gone at right back for me. I think Kyle Walker might be rested. We'll see. Akanji and Ake I've gone for, with Stones still not 100% fit. Pep suggested he'll be back for Newcastle, but probably not for this game. Diaz is still question marks about his injury because of the concussion that he received before the Burnley game, so I've gone for Akanji and Ake as the two centre-backs. Now, left-back, Josko Gvardiol I've gone for. He got his 15-20 minute spell against Burnley coming on and didn't really give him an opportunity to impress. And I mean, playing at left-back or even in defence, it's hard to impress. You just do the simple things and do them well. And he did that. So I think he'll be given the 90 minutes. I hope he's given the 90 minutes against Sevilla. So I'm excited to see Josko Gvardiol. I think he'll play. In front of them, I've gone for Rodri. Who else, really? I think I want to say who else. The answer to that question would be Calvin Phillips, but Pep doesn't think that. He never picks him. He just doesn't pick him at all. So I do feel sorry for Calvin Phillips, but I don't think he's going to be picked in this game. Kovacic and Alvarez I've gone for ahead of them. I would have liked to have seen Foden playing in the middle, and obviously Kevin De Bruyne. But I think Bernardo Silva is question marks over his injury record. He picked up a knock against Burnley, so it's 50-50 whether he's going to be playing in that game. And because of that, I've gone for Foden on the right, which therefore means there's no Bernardo Silva, and therefore we need to play Alvarez and Kovacic. And if we need to make subs in this game with that starting 11, and if those injured players, Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva, are injured, how much does Paquetá sound like a good signing right now? And Doku as well. You throw Doku into the mix, and all of a sudden we have depth again. Haaland up top, I've gone for. Again, who else? Jack Grealish I've gone for on the left, with him not getting any game time against Burnley. I think this will be the game where Pep gives him, go and improve on the impression that you gave me during pre-season, because in pre-season he went missing. He was anonymous throughout the whole pre-season. He did the simple things, and we need a bit more from Jack Grealish, and I think we'll get a bit more. Hopefully, dropping him against Burnley may be the rocket up the backside that he needs. Hopefully that's the case. But let's have a look at Sevilla. Sevilla, 7 times Europa League winners. Another reason why we should take this seriously, because they are the dons of the Europa League. Okay, they are better than the Europa League, hence why they win it all the bloody time. But they always seem to bottle it in the Champions League. They finished 3rd last season in the group that we were in. They fell into the Europa League, and then they went and won it against Roma. Jose Mourinho's Roma, who went mental, Jose Mourinho, chasing down Anthony Taylor in the car parks like it's WWE, just expecting him to pick up a steel chair and smack Anthony Taylor around the back at any point. You absolute nut job, Jose Mourinho. I mean, that's like an arrestable offence, the way he approached him. It was disgusting behaviour from Jose Mourinho. But anyway, Sevilla won it, and I'm glad they did, knowing him. That scumbag Mourinho, sometimes he loses it. But anyway, Bono in net. He's under reported speculation as well from Real Madrid, interest from Real Madrid. So could he have his head turned, either distracted or maybe a chance to impress in this game and get into the Real Madrid team, should they actually go for him? Because the ACL that Courtois received is apparently quite serious. So they're looking for a goalkeeper replacement, and Bono fits the bill. Jesus Navas at right back I've gone for. Those City fans of anyone over 10 years old will probably remember Jesus Navas bombing it down the right wing. Now he's playing right back, a position I never thought I'd see him play, but it actually makes sense, to be honest. The captain of the club, and I think he's doing well there. You know, he's tenacious. He can tackle. Obviously, he's playing right back, but he's a very old school winger. He's just speed and crossing ability. That's all he is. There's not that much technicality to his game. He won't drift inside much, but he stays on the touchline and he'll bomb it down that wing. And he's got a good delivery, good cross. And I always liked watching Navas. I don't think he was ever top tier, but he was a good player. I enjoyed watching him come on and bring speed to the game. He'll be doing the same on Wednesday night. Luke Bardet is the player that got sent off at the weekend after Sevilla lost 2-1. So they've got a bit of a mixed start. They got a mixed pre-season and they lost to Valencia. And I think they were below their standards against Valencia. Having watched the game, I thought they were a bit lacklustre. All chaotic in the final few minutes of that game. Bardet got himself sent off and that finished the game off for them. Nemanja Gildel is the player alongside him. And Acuna, who's familiar to Sevilla, he's been there for quite some time now at left back. Rakitic, and another familiar player to City fans is Fernando, a Brazilian rock that's 36, 37 years old now, I believe. So he's definitely on the ageing side of the game, but still finding himself in the starting 11 for Sevilla. Ivan Rakitic, we know what he's capable of. But again, another player that's like the wrong side of the game in terms of age. Suso, you could have Juan Jordan playing in that position, but Suso is playing well at the minute. You could have Juan Jordan playing down the spine of their team effectively, but Suso's been a good stand-in for their central attacking midfield at least. Ocampos, Suso could play out wide where Ocampos is playing, but I think Ocampos has got goals in him. I think he's a danger, he's a threat, and I think we'll see him playing on the right end. Lamela, Spurs and Premier League fans will remember some of the technical ability he's got, the Rabona, and a technically able player. He can lose his head though, Lamela. I think we can wind them up. There's a few players, they got 3 or 4 players booked as well as a red card in the last game, so there is a temperament to their game that's easily tampered with, let's say. Up front, I've gone for En-Nesyri. That's goals. He's good. He's got some goals in him. Rafa Mir is another player that can play in that position. We saw him against City last season. He's got a bit more physicality about him compared to En-Nesyri, but I think this will be the starting 11, and it's a game that I'm excited about. And Blues, I'm bothered that some of you are not excited about it. I mean, talk about entitlement, Blues. Come on, get excited about this. And if you are excited about this, join me in the watch along, because if you're not excited, I imagine you're not watching it. You're probably watching Coronation Street or some other bollocks. Don't even bother supporting the club. I don't understand why, because this is a trophy, and it means something. It's the Champions League winners versus the Europa League winners. It matters. It absolutely matters. How does it not matter? Blues, I want to hear your predictions. My prediction for the game is 4-0. I think we're going to destroy them. I think they're up for the grit taking. We can wipe the floor with this team, take them to the cleaners, and have at it. Get some goals under our belt, get some confidence, and take that back into the Premier League. But get your predictions in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Like and subscribe. Typical City is the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.
This is Typical City now, holding up Silver.